Oh, tech is lots of fun. Okay, so what we have here is the spread that I began for you a little while ago and lost sound. So we started over. I had to repost all my links. So here we are. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. This is your Cancer Weekly Tarot reading for September 10th of 2021. Hopefully you can hear me, Cass. Hi, thank you for the update. So what we have here is some really scattered energy and short temper. We're frustrated, even though at this point things are starting to turn tides a little bit right here with the Six of Swords. It's starting to feel like the storm is clearing. However, we still have a little bit of like frustration and irritation. We're having a hard time trusting people. We do have the King of Swords, similar to what Gemini had, and that's our card for being victorious, getting things done. However, this is the way things are getting done, because I feel like Cancer is really sick of people's shit. Right here we have the Five of Swords, where people are having like an attitude, and so you're just putting a stop to all of that. With the Five of Cups, that's our you know, our word for vetting things, or making sure that we can't trust someone, or we're wondering if things are lining up like they're supposed to. But we have an abundance of really positive cards here, but just those two can color our attitude and change things just a little bit. I do see the Six of Coins, which talks to us about a bunch of ideas that you have that you're trying to bring current, trying to bring them into the now and navigating things so that you can experience things the way you want. However, I can say Cancer has this energy of feeling like the schedule's running away with them and things are getting busy. So right here is this card for being speed. Like you might see the schedule picking up, or you're having a little less time than you thought you might. Patience is a huge key for you in this one. With the Wheel of Fortune in play, it talks to us about timing. So if you're feeling frustrated and that's some of the reason why you're feeling short-tempered, give yourself some extra time. Maybe say no to some things that you know you probably don't have the energy for. I'm also seeing the Eight of Coins, and that one right here talks about trying to gather money, working hard, thinking of any ways we can do labor. Now, in the beginning, when I first did the reading and had to back up a little bit because we didn't have service, or it went out, or I don't know, sound, we have the Temperance card. And the Temperance is all about looking at yourself. It's also about give and take. This is our card for surrender and letting things go. And if you look here, it's like this person looking in the mirror and paying attention to what they have going on and how they're influencing things around them. And the next card we have is the Two of Cups. Now, Cups is generally love, and the Two of Cups talks to us about relationship and the balance between two individuals. Except this card is right next to the Temperance, so maybe you're doing some reflection on how things are showing up and whether or not those people are mirroring that same effort. And so ultimately both of these cards together talk about balance in a lot of ways. So the Temperance card is also about the give and take with spirit, how spirit's giving you what you need, what you're putting back out in the universe, and finding that balance between like working too hard or taking too many breaks, or mental well-being, positive and negative, etc. But this is also about looking at yourself, like you're putting yourself in the firing line, looking in the mirror, examining your behaviors and seeing like how that's showing up. And is it, right? That's the Two of Cups. Again, we have the World card, the Sun card, the Wheel of Fortune. All of that is telling us that you have a lot of really positive and good things that are coming, and patience and timing might be something to focus on with all of it. Now, with the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Swords, I'd be willing to bet that Cancer's really looking for an opportunity to let out some of this frustration. And we're also like at the edge of our seats with some scenarios, but I can promise you with the Seven of Swords, things that might lighten up a little bit. But if you look here, this Five of Wands talks to us about feeling backed into a corner. You can trust that a lot of these things that are influencing your brain, so to speak, are clearing, so that they're going to be less of an influence on your mental well-being as they had been. Like conflict is going to start to die off for a little bit. And I can't promise that that won't happen during Mercury retrograde, because this one's going to be all about testing the fault lines of your relationship. If it's got a crack, it's going to widen. So the opportunity here is, before Mercury retrograde comes around and starts playing with our emotions, it's time to solidify the connections with people so we can navigate them a little better and clear anything that's standing in our way from having those rich and loving kinds of relationships. So I'm going to do your moon reading. So Cancer moon, this is for you. If you're not a Cancer moon, keep listening. This is going to be your how I'm thinking and feeling anyways. So So while I'm pulling these cards, I'm going to remind you to check out my website. I do have some new product on there. I've got my t-shirt line out, my Yes Witch, and Karma's a Beast or Your Best Friend, and Karma's My Bitch. Those are really fun to design. So give them a shot and tell me what you think. Also, the retreats on there for the women's empowerment. We also have classes if you want to get anything booked for the holiday here coming up for Halloween. If you want private events or anything else coming up, let me know. That's all up there. So with the Cancer moon reading in the spread, we have the Justice card, which is feeling judged, being judgmental, and actually consequences. It is our karma card. We have the Two of Pentacles, which means that you have two ideas that you're struggling with, and you're wondering if you can only do one. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, and you're kind of feeling as if there's pressure on making these decisions. We do have the King of Cups and the Strength card in this back line, along with the King of Swords. And the King of Cups is all about that EQ and how we're experiencing our emotions and what we're doing about them and whether we're doing it well. The King of Cups is also about nurturing other people as well as ourselves. The Strength card is our card for wisdom. And when this card is in play, it tells us that we're using our past experience and our decision making in the now. And we're making sure that we don't repeat some of these situations. And we're very aware of other people's dynamics. Now, whether we like it or not is another thing altogether. But your congruency card between your general spread and your moon reading is the Temperance card. And that has to do with that balance again. And if you'll see in this one, she's sitting in a river and there's water coming by her, and she's got 2 cups, and she's got to fill these cups. So she can only do it, empty one and fill another. So this is all about balance. And it's also about like that self-reflection we do. Now, I can tell you, you have new beginnings coming for you. You've got the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is our card for the Trump card for new beginnings. So you might be seeing this new season for you. Also the Wheel of Fortune that's in play that tells us that the timing is right, that things are going to turn the page. I wouldn't even be surprised if some of you out there are dating online or going on to the dating apps for the first time or revisiting that idea, because we have the 3 of Pentacles next to the 9 of Wands, which is we're tired of it and it's feeling a little too much work. But we have the 4 of Wands, which is committed. A lot of cups is in here, Ace of Cups, Page of Cups, and the 4 of Wands, which talks about commitment. So I do feel as if there's some fatigue or emotional unrest about relationships right now for you, where you're just kind of tired. You're really willing to walk away from things that aren't serving you in a lot of ways. However, most of you are dealing with what is in the 7 of Swords. You have this energy of making best of a bad situation and doing it well. So keep doing what it is you're doing. Just remember the 2 of Pentacles is here. You have to choose right now. And I think choice is one of the things that you're having a hard time with, and you can only choose one. And that doesn't mean one person. It can mean, that you have 2 situations. Well, I can't date this guy while I'm going to school. It's too distracting and I'm failing, or etc. Let's pull a card from Divination of the Ancients and see what your reading looks like from the Oracle deck. And I want to thank you for hanging out with me. Palmistry, interpretation. So in the situation and scenario of doing self-reflection, sometimes we can go too hard on ourselves and we end up being a little overly critical. Put the hammer down. The world does enough of that critique for us, and be gentle with yourself. Also, where you're getting your information from. This is like fact checking or vetting your practitioner, making sure that you trust the people that you're getting your said advice from. So palmistry has to do with interpretation. If you pay attention to data at all, or like I remember when I was in medical, when I was a medic, I would teach. Anybody can skew data to tell their story. Anybody can use information in order to promote the agenda that they want. So how is it that you're interpreting said information? And, get some support with it. Get an unbiased opinion. I want to thank you for hanging out with me and through all the tech problems. I was hoping to get 3 done today, but there you have it. We'll work on that later. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. And remember, love is the answer to every question.